Our business continues to evolve. We think we've got a very strong, resilient business in a recessionary environment. Our industry has always continued to grow. We're experiencing continued strong growth out of our category, and we think we'll have a really good, strong year ahead.
Welcome to the ASX Investor Channel. Today we've got a very exciting CEO interview for you. We're diving into the world of Silk Laser, which is at a very fascinating time in their story. ASX SLA has received a non-binding acquisition proposal from Australian Pharmaceutical Industries. This is a wholly owned subsidiary of Wesfarmers Health. Of course, we know that Wesfarmers is one of the largest conglomerates in the country. It's a fascinating time. We're joined by the CEO, Martin Perelman. We'll be talking about the Silk Laser story, their growth up to now, and what this could mean for the story up ahead. Martin, welcome to the channel.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really looking forward to it.
Fantastic. I know, of course, we're going to talk about the bid and everything going on that front. But for those viewers who might not be familiar, who is Silk Laser and where do you really play within the space?
Yeah, look, Silk Laser is a fully rounded cosmetic clinic. So we do a variety of non-invasive cosmetic treatments. Those treatments include laser hair removal, cosmetic injectables. So when I'm talking about injectables, I'm talking about Botox, fillers, non-invasive skin treatments. So things like peels, microneedling, LED, body contouring, and also skincare or products. We have clinics located all over Australia and New Zealand. We have 142 clinics across a variety of brands and are continuing to grow.
Fantastic. And of course, it's been a busy past 12 months, even aside from the acquisition. You've acquired Laser and Eden Laser and integrated them. You've had the ASC plus TCC integration. Can you talk about where you're currently positioned and how you really have found this past period?
Yeah, look, it's been a pretty busy 2 years. We listed on the ASX in December of 2020. I think we listed with 53 clinics. We've gone on a pretty strong growth path over the last 2 to 3 years, or couple of years. We acquired, as you mentioned, Australian Skin Clinics and the Cosmetic Clinic first up. That really gave us a very strong East Coast presence and into New Zealand. We took about 18 months to integrate that business. First of all, obviously quite challenging to integrate it during a COVID period, but we're in a pretty good place now with that whole portfolio of brands. This financial year has been, again, a very busy year. We expanded, opened another 3 to 7 clinics. We also acquired Unique Laser at the beginning of the financial year, which we've rebranded to Australian Skin Clinics in Victoria. They're mostly regional Victoria. And then we've just recently acquired Eden Laser Clinics, which are a New South Wales or Sydney-based clinic chain. We've only owned that business for probably just shy of 2 months now. We're still running it as a bit of a separate business, but our plan will be to slowly integrate that business over the coming 6 to 7 months. That's a really key part of our strategic growth strategy in New South Wales, which is probably our weakest market. So it's a really key part for us to continue to grow into that footprint. The last 12 months has been challenging, but yet rewarding. It's been a pretty big year of growth. Business is holding very well. Most of our categories are performing very strongly, and we're seeing nice quality growth, and we're feeling very comfortable we're going to have a good financial year.
Fantastic. And we're obviously in a very interesting macroeconomic environment for a range of different reasons. Of course, we know cost of living and consumer demand is an interesting one, but we've also got an aging population, which has a bit of a consideration here in the space you're playing. Can you talk about some of the trends that you're seeing evolve?
Yeah, look, each of our categories is going through different types of growth pathways. Probably the category that we're seeing the most amount of growth is really in that cosmetic injectable space. We're seeing double-digit growth year on year. We find the demographic is slightly older versus, say, a category like laser hair removal. Broadly the same demographic, but just skews a little bit older by about 10 years. We're finding that category is experiencing the strongest growth. Laser hair removal is always the core base of our business, and that's continuing to hold very, very strongly. So the trends are slowly evolving as something like cosmetic injectables becomes a lot more mainstream, and the penetration of that continues to grow in the Australian market.
Fantastic. And of course, that then brings us to the recent acquisition news. You've received that non-binding proposal from Australian Pharmaceutical Industries. For viewers who are not familiar, that's a wholly owned subsidiary of Wesfarmers Health. Of course, Wesfarmers is one of the biggest conglomerates in the country. It's an exciting time. Can you talk about kind of the specifics there and kind of how you're thinking about it as well from the lens of Silk Laser?
Yeah, look, I mean, the way we're seeing is this is theoretically our next phase of growth. We've had a really strong few years. We're excited by the opportunity. We think Wesfarmers are a wonderful employer, and we're looking forward to potentially working with them. We've received that non-binding bid at the beginning of the year. We're obviously going through at the moment due diligence with them. we believe we're a really great fit for their new health division, and we're excited about the opportunity what that presents.
Fantastic. And we did say that the board is indicating that they'll be looking to recommend that proposal. Can you talk about what you think that does unlock and what that future could look like if it does go through?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think having someone like the Wesfarmers business behind us really allows us to continue to focus on our growth aspirations in Australia and New Zealand. You know, we have goals to be one of Australia's, if not Australia's largest aesthetic companies. Wesfarmers obviously believe in our brand and company, and I think this will allow us to continue to focus on those growth strategies. So we're excited by what that could bring.
Fantastic. And then in terms of next steps from here, what should investors be watching out for moving forward?
Yeah, look, from our perspective, obviously, we're working through the due diligence of what the Wesfarmers due diligence requires, and if we obviously move forward to the next phase. For us, it's business as usual. We're continuing to look at our growth. We're looking at focusing on a very strong financial year, and then we're looking at what FY24 will bring for us and budgeting for that year. So it's head down, bum up, and business as usual.
Fantastic. It truly is an incredible story, from a single store to listing in December 2020. And now, of course, 140 plus stores, this bid coming through. Any final reflections for those newer shareholders who might not be familiar with the Silk Laser story, or those who have followed the journey all the way through? Any reflections for them?
Yeah, look, I mean, our business continues to evolve. We think we've got a very strong, resilient business in a recessionary environment. Our industry has always continued to grow. We're experiencing continued strong growth out of our category, and we think we'll have a really good, strong year ahead.
Fantastic. That's the Silk Laser story. It's ASX SLA. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you've subscribed. A big thank you for joining us. Look forward to catching up again, Martin. Thanks for joining.
Thank you so much.